Rand Paul is with us now on the phone. The Kentucky Republican joins us right now. Senator, what do you make of this, issue of the taxes and getting them in prosecutors' hands?
Well, our tax code kind of relies on anonymity. Part of our tax code and part of the so-called privacy of it is that, nobody, your neighbors, the people you go to church with, the people you see down at the drugstore don't all get to know your income and your deductions, all that. It's private. And they check it to make sure you're paying your taxes, but it's always been anonymous. So, no, I think this is a real serious breach to the nature of our tax code. And once you do it to one person, we're going to do it to everybody. I mean, no, I think it's a rotten thing to do, and I think it sets us way back on people believing that their finances are private and not going to be displayed to the public.
Now, when you were running for president, Senator, you released all that info. Virtually every major Republican candidate did. Democratic candidates have. Presidents, those who wanted to be president, at least in the modern era, have done so. On that level alone, should this be something that is forced out?
I never released mine, but I can tell you mine would be about 3 pages compared to about 3 million pages for Donald Trump. So mine's a little bit less complicated.
Also, your Senate forms do get into some of the broad aspects that so far we know
but
very little about the president,
too.
right?
Yeah, we had to fill out forms similar to the Senate forms to run for president. So he's put down in certain parameters some of his wealth and where his wealth is. But really, that's a political question. If people don't like it, everybody in the whole country knew he didn't release his tax returns. And they could have voted against him if it was a big deal. But it never should be part of the law, because part of the way our tax system works is for everybody's benefit, and that is to keep it private. So, no, I'm very much against his, not because I care what's in them or not in them, but I'm very much against it because I don't think we should destroy the anonymous nature of our tax code.
In the meantime, I can switch gears to the president's move on Syria today, Senator, withdrawing American troops from northern Syria as we see the Turks come in. A lot of people in your own party, from Lindsey Graham, Marco Rubio, Mitt Romney, Nikki Haley, and on and on and on, says it's a travesty. It's a bad move. It emboldens our enemies. What do you say?
Well, it sounded like you just listed the neocon war caucus of the Senate. So, yeah, they always want to stay at war. They always think it's the best answer. But I would say this. I think President Trump recognizes what President Reagan recognized, unfortunately too late in Beirut. Leaving 300 or 400 people in an area that are vulnerable could lead to catastrophe, but also doesn't really do anything to secure our national security. I'm kind of the belief, go big or go home. 200 or 300 people are just a tripwire to get us drawn into something and a tragedy, probably, but they aren't enough to do anything. In fact, there may be dozens of people at a time, maybe a dozen here, a dozen there. They aren't enough to deter anything. And part of the resolution of the war over there has to be people who live over there. The Turks live over there, the Syrians live over there, and they've apparently come to an agreement. There's about 3 million Syrian refugees in Turkey. They're going to try to get some of those people back into Syria, and they have to have an area, a zone where they can control that. And I think that the best answer is that we don't have all the answer, and that the people who live there are always going to have more of a stake in the game, and we need to not think that it's always the U.S.'s responsibility to fight every war and find every peace. We haven't been able to find peace for 18 years in Afghanistan, so I certainly don't think we're going to find peace in Syria, but I do think a couple of hundred people there is simply a tripwire for a bigger war or for a calamity for our soldiers.
Well, Lindsey Graham has said this is going to be a stain on Americans' honor for abandoning the Kurds, the ones who were so instrumental in going after ISIS. He says, Nikki Haley had said, we must have the backs of our allies if we expect them to have our backs. What do you say?
I think back after World War I, we could have done a better job drawing up these country lines. Right now, there at least is a Kurdish autonomous region within Iraq, and I think that's a good place for people to live if they want to have more Kurdish autonomy. But then it may be unrealistic to think that either Turkey or Syria is going to give up part of their territory up there to an autonomous region for the Kurds. So, some have said this will force the Kurds to decide who their allies are, but I guess that's kind of what they've got to decide. It's definitely not going to be Turkish allies. So the question is, do they have more in common with Syria, and could there be some unification of causes there to try to find stability in Syria? The bottom line is this chaos was fed by outside intervention. The Turks got involved, we got involved, the Qataris, the Saudis, all these people got involved in this Syrian civil war, and to what end? I mean, hundreds of thousands of people died, millions of people were displaced. So once again, the idea of regime change in the Middle East, and this is what President Trump's so right about, regime change hasn't worked. It's led to more chaos, and the rise of ISIS came in the chaos of Hussein being toppled, but also the chaos of Assad's regime being made marginal and made fragile.
Senator Rand Paul, thank you for taking the time.